Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Inside the Circle. Today, we are joined by another incredibly special guest. You may know him from clubs such as Wimbledon, Durham University, Gantois, Team Ganaska in the Hockey India League, plus he's currently playing for Pinoquet as well. International stats are fantastic with a debut for England in 2018 with 60 caps and 3 goals, a GB debut in 2018 as well with 79 caps and 6 goals. International achievements such as a 2023 Euro Champ Silver, a 2022 Commonwealth Games Bronze, a Pro League silver and bronze, Olympic appearances in both Paris and in Tokyo, and several World Cup appearances as well. He got a bachelor's degree from the University of Durham in history, and he is currently running the coaching company Unlock Hockey. Please welcome to the podcast, everybody, Jack Waller.
Thank you very much. It's great. It's great to be here.
No, thank you very much for being with us, and how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. We had a game, Pinoquet game last night in the Gold Cup, so it was nice to play in that, get the win, and get through to the next round. So yeah, looking forward to having a quieter day today and a lighter training session this evening.
Oh, brilliant! And how's the season been going so far with you?
Yeah, it's going really well. I think at the moment we're sat in second.
Brilliant.
It's such a competitive league. It's one of those where you win a game, you 3 points, you go straight up to first. You have a couple of disappointing results, and you can find yourself in sixth or seventh. So it's so tight. Every game is so important, but I think that's what's so great about the league, particularly this season. But
Yeah.
it was also the same last year as well.
Yeah, and how have you found the league in general? Obviously, the competitive nature of it's just brilliant.
Yeah, it's great. It feels like the top games in the league really feel very similar to the international level. You can't take any teams lightly. Even some of the teams lower in the league, they they ha- they cause upsets all the time. So it's just so
Yeah,
competitive, and it's so nice to be able to play with and against the best players in the world week in week out.
yeah, brilliant. And obviously to get to that point, you obviously had to start hockey in some way. So what initially got you into the sport?
Yeah, so I got to give my old man credit here. He was very much the guy that got me into hockey. Like as a kid, the first number I learnt was number 9 because that was his shirt number. So I used to remember him getting ready in the morning on a Sunday to go and play his match. So I knew the number 9 and nothing else. And then when I was a little bit older, I was that kind of annoying kid on the sideline when he was playing in his vets game, just smashing a ball around the side and causing mayhem. But I think seeing the competition and seeing him and his mates in the bar afterwards and all of that whole family atmosphere, I think that's really what made me fall in love with the sport. And from then on, just kind of took it step by step, but really enjoyed it throughout.
Brilliant. What was the club that he played for before?
He's been Wimbledon for a good 25, 30 years. He's been,
Oh,
I think,
brilliant.
maybe Pearly beforehand, but yeah, he's been pretty low.
Oh, brilliant. And obviously that's where you got your start then as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Brilliant. What was your sort of journey then? Sort of from starting off playing at like under 10 sort of age group right through to then sort of like under 21 England GB setup. What was that journey like for you?
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, it wasn't without like difficulties at times, but I think when you play as a kid, the thing that keeps you going back every time is the enjoyment factor, and it's being with your mates and letting off some steam and burning some energy, and yeah, I think it's interesting as it gets kind of more serious when you start getting into the international teams in the under 16, under 18s. Sometimes you experience things that you didn't necessarily experience when you're playing with your mates in the club stuff. So I definitely felt when I was playing in the England under 16s that I didn't always love it, and I felt the weight of expectation and stuff like that. But I think I kind of had a nice reset when I was last few years of school. I was playing in the Wimbledon first 11. Um, and then started really getting the love back for it again. And being in the under-21s again, it's not without difficulties, but having amazing experiences, going to playing in Asia, the Sultan of Johor Cup in Malaysia, going to the Junior World Cup in India, and just hockey allowing me to experience those things with people I really care about, and playing the sport that I love. It's just it was really special, and still is.
What's with those sort of, I'll say, like junior international age groups and things like that, how did you find your experience of those? Because I know some people really thrive in that fairly competitive nature of getting through those things, and some people don't like it as much but still find their way to like the senior squad. How was your experience with it?
Yeah, I think just like everything, it was just a wiggly line. There were
Yeah.
like I said, I found the under 16s. I found it a little bit repressive, and in terms of I didn't feel like I could play with the freedom, and that's what I really enjoyed about it, and that's why I was even putting myself out there to do that stuff. Under 18s, I found that love for it again, and it went well. 21s, I found the jump from under 18s to under 21s really, really difficult. I think like physically, maybe I just was nowhere near that level, and so it took me a good year and a half to get to that level and find that love again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not. I was selected for each team, but never a year young or anything like that. So it was a graft. But when you look back at the highlights and some of the moments, the memories with my mates, the tournaments, like it's with real fond memories. I look back.
Brilliant. And then it's really interesting. I think a few people have said that step from 18s to 21s has been almost more intense than the 21s, the senior squad. Just like you said, with the physicality. So then, how did you find then the step then into the senior men's squad?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I found that 18 to 21's jump like really quite difficult, especially with university. So I was at Durham Uni. I was having to travel back to Bisham Abbey near Reading every Wednesday. So I was on a 4 hour train journey, leaving at 5 a.m. Actually, I'll give Reece Smith a little shout out. And Jack Turner, we did some big journeys together, and we had some fun on there as well. But it was early starts, leaving Durham, getting to training on Wednesday, tough double session, then straight back in the evening. So that was tricky. And then the steps to seniors, I actually found much more comfortable. I think I approached it well. Firstly, we're really lucky. We got such a close knit squad with such a great culture that actually, I found as a young player coming in, I didn't feel as an outsider or like I was
Brilliant.
threatening anybody. I was very much welcomed and told to bring what I can. And also, I think I approached it with a good mindset where I just saw everything as an opportunity and a free shot. If it went well, then it could see where it could go. If it didn't, then maybe I got to look at the real life and move in that direction. But I was kind of just trying to seek the opportunity.
And with just like you said, with stepping into that men's squad, you never felt that sort of outsider nature, which is brilliant. Was there anyone in particular when you were stepping into that squad you were really looking forward to sort of training with and seeing how they train?
Yeah, I mean, so I had played at Wimbledon a few years before going to uni. So I played with the likes of Phil Roper and Mikey Hoare, Ian Sloan, Henry Weir, all these guys. I got to say that actually came a little bit afterwards. So Ashley Jackson was semi-retired at that point, and then he came back. And I couldn't tell you which year he came back, but for me that was really quite an exciting thing. And maybe it's a little bit embarrassing to say he's one of our assistant coaches now. So I'll probably get a bit of banter next week, but I was really excited to see him. I'd seen him playing just the the English league, watching from the sideline, and yeah, just the way he played the game and saw things. I was really looking forward to seeing him in training.
Oh, brilliant. Um, with then that, even with the juniors and then with the seniors, probably more the juniors. Was there any particular tournaments that stood out for you as, all right, this is what a hockey tournament's meant to sort of feel like?
In the junior stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think the first big one was probably the Sultan of Johor Cup in Malaysia, and it's
Mhm.
the first time well I'd ever been, and also a lot of the guys in the team had ever been to Asia. First time playing in that kind of heat and humidity. First time playing Asian hockey teams who have a different style to a lot of the European teams. So yeah, that was, and also the general atmosphere and the crowd, and we had like a whole school year dedicated to our like GB team. So they had their chance for us, and a big drum, and yeah, that's when it was like, right, this is really quite exciting. This is yeah, I think that was the
Brilliant.
first time, and then the Junior World Cup in India was just another step on that. Like playing in India is a really special thing, and yeah, I remember playing a group stage game against them in that Junior World Cup. Big crowd. I remember being on the sideline, and they're like shouting my surname behind me. Not really understanding what else they're saying, but probably
Yeah.
not nice things. But yeah, it's like that was the first time to me that it was like, yeah, this is what it's about.
Cool. And then sort of progressing then into seniors. You've gone through some major tournaments and things like that. But has there been any teams that you've just either loved playing against because it's going to be a really good fought battle, or is there a team that you just go, oh, I hate playing them because it's just going to be nitty gritty and aggro throughout?
Yeah, I mean, I say like I quite love playing against all the teams, to be honest. I love playing against the Dutch because for the past few years it's been kind of the man to man battle. We both see our man to man's been the best in the world, so it's always a battle, and it's a great way to see what level we're actually at. But then
Yeah.
equally, I like playing against the Germans and Belgians. Playing It's a different feeling playing against those zones, and when you play nice clean hockey, then you can cut through the zones, and that's a really nice feeling. But also, yeah, the Asian sides, it offers a completely different challenge, and with some nice opportunities and some nice things that we don't experience that much playing against the European teams. So and like this the skill level. So to be honest, all of it is great in its own way, and that's kind of what I love about hockey and the
Yeah.
differences between the teams.
Brilliant. It's I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think some people look at it as, oh, you're playing against them because their style doesn't do well against how we play, but actually that is the joy of it. Because if you look at sports like rugby, football, there isn't a massive difference between the styles of how each team can sort of play. While actually in hockey, there can be quite a difference in terms of some can go man to man, some is like Australia's always sort of like chaotic, fast flowing hockey, and it's very different to say how the Dutch or the Germans play, which is very structured. So I think it really benefits hockey in general with that sort of mass spread of styles.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree. And also the styles do change a lot as well in the nations. Like
Mm.
I think so. You mentioned the Australians. I think they did change quite a lot in the last cycle, and seeing that adaptation. And likewise, the Dutch, maybe when I first started playing against them, were very much a zonal team, and like
Mm.
on the ball they played really kind of off the cuff, free flowing stuff. And now they're stylistically they're more, it's man to man, and also way more structured. So it does also change and develop over time. So that's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. And obviously to sort of play hockey against all these teams and and in all these tournaments, you obviously need the best sort of equipment and things possible. So currently, what brand are you using to play with?
Yeah. Very very fortunate to be sponsored by Balling. So I use the Balling sticks, which are really good.
Right. What stick are you using at the minute?
Yeah, so I use the Lobo, the
Okay.
Power Series Lobo. I'm soon to be getting my Ardino stick. It's the new range
Right.
released, I think, a couple of months ago, and yeah,
Yeah.
so they've made a nice kind of personalization on that. So hopefully, I'm going to be receiving that next week, and I'm looking forward to yeah giving it a go.
Nice. Very nice. What is your sort of stick setup then? It's always interesting to sort of see that between each of the players that we've chatted to.
Yeah, I use maybe a little bit strange. I use like physio tape mainly, so
Okay.
a couple of wraps of physio tape, and then yeah, finish it off with some brown physio tape on top. And for me, that just gives me the best grip. It doesn't wear as much as like a chamois would, which is maybe the more traditional
Mhm.
um, like setup of choice. But yeah, I find that that works best for me.
Okay. And is that do you put that straight over the grip that comes on the stick, or do you take the grip off? Do you like it thinner, or just that slightly bit more thick?
No, I try not to mess around with it too much. I mean, I think the yeah the balling sticks the setup's already really good.
Mm,
I just prefer like the physio tape just for its feel, and I'm not that
yeah.
prescriptive. You know, some days I'll put an extra layer on because that's how I feel, and then other days I'll take one off, and that'll be good as well. It's I'm not too prescriptive about it. I see some videos of the scissors coming out and all this stuff, and it looks a bit too complicated for me.
Yeah, fair enough. There's nothing wrong with it being as simple as possible, especially if you're trying to do it on the side of a pitch.
Yeah.
So, fair enough. Um, what initially drew you to bowling in general, on why do you like their gear? I think is a good question to ask.
Yeah, completely. I mean, there's a lot of things. So they were in touch a few years ago, and I think just like all athletes, the most important things is the quality of the product. And so I was interested to speak to them, but on both sides, it was all about yeah whether it fit nicely and what the quality was like. And I was like yeah the first stick that I picked, I said kind of what my preferences have been in the past, and it's
Hmm.
the Dynamo, which is the Lobo, and it was great. Uh, it's got a really nice bow, a nice balance between having good touch but also a decent amount of power as well.
Yeah,
Also, I've now been with them for a few years, and like getting to know Agustin and everyone associated with balling, like it's such a nice kind of family feel to the company. Great people. Just want the best for us. All of our sponsored
mm,
athletes, um, and also they. I think some of the traditional brands, like you can see a similar thing over and over again, and I really feel that balling are trying to put new stuff out there and be a little bit disruptive. So yeah, I found it intriguing their ideas for the next season range, and yeah, I think the graphics they make are really nice and they're good looking
yeah.
products. So yeah, that's why I went with them and why I continue to want to be with them. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, like just like you said, that sort of family feel. Like even it's weird saying that as a retailer, but you know we get that feeling too. They've always been really good in coming to us and asking what we want, and you know helping out as much as possible, and sort of it does make a nice change, I think, and it's great to see that sort of willingness to help in the within hockey and within a brand. So it's great to then see that sort of reflected then with their players too.
Yeah, it was really nice. Last week they were out visiting in the Netherlands and Belgium to do some sort of promo stuff and work with some of the Dutch clubs, and they came to watch our game and hang around afterwards for a little while, and they're just a great bunch of people. So it's always nice. You want to surround yourself with good people and work with them. So it's really nice.
Brilliant. That's great to hear. And with then being comfortable with your stick and things like that, do you think that's a benefit for them when you're doing a bit more specialized roles? Because I know you inject in corners quite a lot. Do you think it's useful to then be comfortable with the stick that you're using?
Yeah, I completely agree. Although what I would say is that my priority has always been the stick for like the general play. So I'll pick the stick for
Yeah.
general play, and then if I need some adaptation for injecting specifically, then that's something I'll try and do with my technique. So I won't pick a stick for injecting, but it's obviously important that not
Yeah.
every not every ball that comes out when I'm injecting is bouncing. So yeah, tinkering with the technique a little bit, but generally the sticks are good with the all round game and also the specialist stuff. I think maybe drag
Yeah.
flicking, that would definitely be a bit more of a consideration.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. Yeah, you maybe only inject 5 corners, but you'll take 20 touches during an actual match. So yeah, it makes sense to have it more in tune with general play. When with those tweaks that you would do, this is just an interesting thought. Like, do you work on that during practice with England GB or club, or do you go right? I've got a new stick for this season, or a new couple sticks for this season. Need to go out and just have a sort of retune of how it's coming out, and you can go and do that by yourself, or do you do that during sort of more general training with each of the clubs?
Yeah, I would say I would do it during more general training. I think
Mm-hmm.
there's nice opportunities in both the club and the international training where you'll have a period of time allocated to like like trekking or going after it and like yeah, seeing what works, changing the style, trying to increase the speed, and then there'll be
Mm-hmm.
phases or periods in training where it's like right, this is you have one corner, you got to score a goal to win the game, and then that's kind of stripping it back to what has worked consistently. So I like that opportunity to both yeah explore, trying to improve and change things up a bit, and also yeah ultimately in a game you if it's coming out bobbling or wide and or without speed and you're not giving the drag flicker the best opportunity to get a good shot off, then yeah you're not doing your job well. So a bit of both.
Yeah. I think that leads quite nicely into the sort of next thing I was going to ask. How have you found the conversion rate for these attacking corners over the past? Certainly, I would say probably since the Paris Olympics. It definitely doesn't have the feel of short corners are now the guaranteed goals that they may have been in the past.
Yeah, I'd definitely say that. I think there's a few things. I think the attention to the short corner defense has ramped up. I mean, it's always been at a high level, but it's just ramped up. And I think part of that is also the statistics we get now, and actually seeing where some drag flickers are likely to or their preferred areas of shooting, and that's before it might have been just watching a series of them flicking the ball and kind of
Mm-hmm.
yeah seeing for yourself. But now we also have the stats as well, and I think probably your goalkeepers are going to be well equipped to talk about that. But also the quality of the number one running as well. It's gone up a level, and yeah, I think it's made it more difficult for drag flickers to score bagfuls of goals and win games themselves.
Yeah. Do you notice a difference in that, like, sort of conversion rate, we'll call it, between the likes of international hockey and club hockey? Obviously, international hockey, eh, do you have more data and stats to sort of help with that compared to the likes of club hockey?
I say with our team, with Pinnacle, it's on parity. We put a lot of attention into it. We do have stats, and that's as I said, like the goalkeepers take the responsibility for that. So I'm more listening rather than adopting the how we want to go about it. I'd say in those like top matches, I'm saying like playing against the top 6, 7 teams.
Hmm.
I would say it's really quite similar to international stuff. You have
Okay.
international corner defenses with number one runners. You have international flickers. I'd say maybe the teams lower in the league at the moment. Um, it's maybe the strike rate is a bit higher against those guys. I
No.
think quite a lot of it is dependent on the number one runner, and if the goalkeeper is really confident in the number one runner, then it gives them a good chance of saving the ball. If they don't have that confidence, then yeah, you can kind of over compensate one way, and that's when there's difficulties.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. With the way, certainly with a good majority of the top clubs, like you said, if the data's there and it's, it's very easy to go and find someone's video, even online on how they're drag flicking, and even after about 3 videos, you can go, right, they're going to put it there, and it certainly does help. Um, with then actually playing for a few clubs, you've played for obviously Wimbledon, Gantois, and then Pinoquet. Have you noticed the difference between each of those sort of top leagues? So obviously the English Premier League, the Belgian Premier League, and then the Hoofdklasse. Do you notice a big difference between the quality of teams in those leagues? Is that the best way to say it?
Yeah, what I'd say is I really do believe that the top 3, 4 English teams would be really competitive in both European leagues that I've played in. I think that after that, I think that yeah, the competition, the how many good teams there are, and the fact that there's no let up. If you switch off one week and you don't get the result you need, then it has a massive impact on where you finish in the standings. So you can't
Yeah.
take a single game or moment for granted. Um, I'd also say it's the professionalism, and I say in the UK generally everyone is working full time, so training is 2 hours late at night, twice a week, with a game on the weekend. There's not massive opportunities to spend loads of time together, to do technical work, to do video work. Whereas in Europe, it's I think everyone's fortunate enough to be part time, or certainly in the team that I'm playing in. And so we train in the middle of the day. We have opportunities to do video together, and it's those small things that add up over years and over seasons that I think make the really big difference.
What's then your typical week then over there in terms of sort of like a training and match schedule? What does that look like then for you?
Yeah, so if in the weeks where I'm just based in Netherlands, it will be training and video on a Tuesday evening, double training session on Thursday morning, Friday evening training and video. Sorry, and also on Thursday also video. Friday Friday training and video, Saturday off, much needed Saturday off, and then Sunday, like a prep for the game, video, and the match. And
Yeah.
then when training in Bisham, it's sort of Monday to Wednesday with the GB program, gym trainings, and then back out here and starting the week with Pinnacle on the Thursday morning.
Fair enough. So good air miles then for you.
Yeah, some decent air miles. Yeah, British Airways.
Yeah.
Yeah, making a killing.
Yeah. No, I tell you, you're sorted with that. Um, why, like, with obviously playing abroad with those few teams that you have, do you would you recommend it for players to go to, and certainly try, because it definitely sometimes has a feeling of a lot of players don't maybe want to go and do that, or there's a risk in going and doing that.
Yeah, I do think it is definitely a brave decision, but equally it's not necessarily something for everybody, and everyone has their
Mhm.
own unique circumstances. So although I love it and I'm very much for it, I completely understand uh, other circumstances that are different. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm also really lucky to have a very supportive girlfriend, family, friends. So that really does help, and a supportive yeah governing body and coaches. So that does help. But yeah, it's been a really good, I think.
brilliant. And then does that does that help alongside then having that centralized program for the GB setup? Even with players not going abroad, it certainly seems to be a massive benefit with keeping the team at such a high level all the time.
Yeah, I hope so. Each of us, and this is inclusive of the English clubs as well. Each of us have slightly different coaching, slightly different experiences, different styles of play, and as much as possible, if we can come together and share these ideas and work together to see what works for us, that's only, in my opinion, that's only going to be beneficial. So it's nice for players to take more ownership and bring their ideas to the party and see what works best. So I think it can only be a good thing.
Yeah. And then you've probably had the most extreme version of that, of then sort of playing out the Hockey India League. What was that like to be picked up and then be part of that sort of relaunched first season with them?
Yeah, it was an amazing experience. It was, I absolutely loved it. It was 6 weeks spending time with a lot of Indian players who we don't get to spend a lot of time with. Yeah, other nationalities, the foreign players in the team, and just it's a kind of a situation where everyone's so open to sharing. It's just another opportunity to kind of take bits and pieces from the culture and the hockey culture of other nations and kind of add it to my own game and also bring it to the table for the other teams I'm playing with. So it was such a great experience, and like we kind of spoke about earlier, playing in India is so unique and so special as well. So it was great. I absolutely loved it.
Brilliant. Was that a nice break after the was that a nice international break? Certainly after then the Paris Games as well.
Yeah. I wouldn't use the word break, but I would say,
Yeah, true.
but it was refreshing. It was definitely refreshing.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, the schedule is still a lot of hockey, and it's a serious league, and everyone's there to win it and do well. But it's just a different environment and spending time with different people. So it was yeah really refreshing in that way. So it was definitely helpful after that summer.
yeah. The I know speaking to a few people being out there, it seems like the setup for each team that they had was just on a different level altogether. You had almost anything that you needed or wanted, um, which I'm sure as a player is it's a great thing to have.
Yeah. It's in many ways it's extremely professional.
Yeah,
The support staff, the number of coaches we have, uh, the time we spend together. So yeah, it's a really good opportunity to learn and experience something slightly different. So it ticks both boxes from that perspective.
brilliant. Um, did you even notice a difference? Because obviously you played out in India now for both internationally and sort of on their domestic league. Did you notice a difference in the atmosphere in each of those times? So an atmosphere difference between when playing for England or GB or then for the sort of domestic teams.
Yeah, slight difference. I mean, in the last edition of the India League, because most of the games were at the same venue, and
Mm.
this is a massive stadium. I'm not. It might be close to 20,000 capacity or 15,000 capacity. Uh, it's probably quite difficult, and there's a match going on every evening. Yeah,
Yeah,
admittedly, wasn't filling up every night. So that's a little bit different to when you're playing against India. In India, it's a sellout. It's noisy. As soon as I think I saw actually, I think Parky maybe did a
yeah,
podcast with you, and he spoke about when they cross the halfway line, the noise just goes up a level, and you're thinking like, oh, I need to do something. They're going to score.
Yeah.
Actually, they've just crossed the halfway line. It's just everyone's going crazy, and there's so much passion. Um, it wasn't quite like that for the India League until we went to our team was Ranchi based. We had one game in Ranchi, and it was a slightly smaller, maybe 6,000 capacity, close to the pitch, and it felt like a cauldron. But
Yeah.
they're very much supporting the Ranchi side, so that was nice.
Um, and it's really strange to say that as the smaller stadium was still 6,000, like you wouldn't get that sort of anywhere else. But I think in India for hockey.
Yeah, it's just they're such a passionate nation, and it's always so nice to play there in those stadiums and atmospheres.
Brilliant. So then, sort of coming back, you've got this real passion for sort of coaching then junior hockey players. So what initially got you into doing that?
Yeah, I mean, I during COVID, we had everyone had quite a lot of I found I had quite a lot of free time, so I came up with a little initiative where I made these small hockey videos to send out to at the time Wimbledon club juniors, and they could practice certain skills and stuff. And there was such a great reception for these videos, and parents emailing me all the time about we want more and stuff like that. It seemed like quite a natural progression to then have the like hockey camps and have this opportunity to share what I've learned, but also what everyone's learned. All the coaches that are at these camps, everyone bringing their unique and special skills and experiences, and just share it with the children and have a lot of fun together. So yeah, that's kind of where it all came from.
Brilliant. And then that obviously then led to the sort of the Unlock Hockey sort of camps and program. What's your sort of goal with that? Just to constantly keep doing sort of camps throughout, to try and have multiple camps sort of going at the same time?
Yeah, definitely. I want to just open it up to as many people as possible. It's been it's been quite a natural over the past 3 or 4, 5 years, just quite a natural growth. But I'm sensing that there's just more appetite for it. So as and when there's appetite, I'm hoping to increase the number of centers and do some maybe unique camps further away, because at the moment it's very much based where in areas that I know well, but I'm sensing there's appetite in areas in the north and the Midlands and stuff. So it'd be really cool to kind of venture out there and take what we have and show everyone else what it's about. So really see where it goes, but I'm enjoying it a lot at the moment, and the feedback's been amazing. So that's been great.
It's really good to hear, and I think the more I'm in the personal belief that the more hockey out there, the better, because it benefits everyone, benefits hockey, and it's then also a benefit that the camps are run by a very, very good international hockey player. It's always a bonus. So that's great. Is there anything in particular that you like, specifically like to coach? A certain skill, or certain pass or aerials, or injecting the ball, or something that you like doing specifically?
Yeah, this is a bit of a dweeby hockey thing, but I see on social media a lot of kind of uh, you know spins and stuff that you don't see it much in top games, and so I get a little bit wound up that there's so much attention spent on these things. So actually, it's just I love the classic just elimination skills, and the ones that work repeatedly. That if you master them, uh, you're unplayable. And so it's just those things like the basics. But for me, I get really excited about that. And maybe if it went out on social media, it wouldn't get as much traction. But yeah, that's what gets me going.
Look, there's nothing wrong with that. Hockey's a simple game. If you can push the ball, stop the ball, and hit the ball, you're doing pretty well. So yeah, I think just like you said, the basics sometimes go unnoticed, and if it can be taught at a high level, it's even better.
Definitely, definitely. And just teaching skills are repeatable, and in one moment you can go left, in the next moment you can go right. And if you're constantly keeping the defender guessing, then you're in a good place, I think.
Go stepping away from the hockey pitch, because we've talked a lot about hockey at the minute. Is there is there something that you like to do away from the hockey pitch to help you relax, take your mind off it? Because I know, like how we've just talked for a good bit, is it's a lot of hockey in your life. What's the things that you like to do just to get away from it?
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of different things. I mean, genuinely, the having unlock hockey. I know it is a hockey thing, but the only
Yeah,
hockey bit is actually delivering the coaching on the pitch, which is a few days during the school holidays. Every moment in between, which is organizing pitch hire, getting the coaches involved, having those connections with the parents, and editing the website. It's all those things I really enjoy doing, and I feel quite entrepreneurial, and so I don't know exactly where that will take me in the future, but I feel like I'm learning a lot doing the unlock hockey at the moment. So that does feel like a time away from the pitch as well. But also, yeah, spending time with friends and family. We got a big coffee culture in both the Pinnacle and the GB hockey team. So drinking quite a lot of coffee, maybe a bit too much, and eating in nice places. And also my great love as well is Arsenal Football Club. So spending a lot of time watching them, and very happy at the moment this season.
yeah. I'd say you would be. No, that's good. And strangely, it is nice to hear that. It would be weird if you didn't enjoy the time doing the bits off the pitch for that unlock hockey. It would definitely feel like a bit more of a chore and a job if you were turning around going, oh, and I have to change the website and I have to now contact whoever for pitch. So it's good to see that that's still somewhat of a break for you.
No, definitely. I feel it gives me a big purpose, and I think if it was only hockey, there's a lot of hours in a day, and I like to have that purpose and feel like moving forward and developing and growing something. So yeah, that gets me really excited.
Great. And is the question that I've had to throw in because my mum's a history teacher, and obviously you have a degree in history, so I have to ask the question, otherwise I would never be allowed home. Um, what was your favorite period to sort of learn about and do in even secondary school, and then for your degree?
Yeah, so my the big one was I did my dissertation on Prohibition America, which is
Nice.
yeah, obviously a interesting period of time with gangsters and all sorts of stuff like that. So that was my dissertation, and spent a lot of time reading yeah, lots of different sources, primary, secondary sources, and actually it's something that I would quite like to look back at some point. And I find at uni with all the hockey and everything else going on, it was a slightly get it done, get a good grade. But I found that the more I delved into it, the more I enjoyed learning about it. So definitely something I want to look back on in the future, and learn a bit more about.
Yeah, look, there's still plenty of time for that. No, that's good to hear. That's actually, I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was going to be a medieval or a World War, the classics that people tend to pull out. So, I'm sure that actually was fairly interesting for a dissertation to do.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of history, is like just imagine yourself in any of those periods of time, and yeah, you can. I personally found interest in kind of whatever period I studied, but it's definitely the more modern current history which I yeah, specialized in at uni, and I enjoyed the most.
Brilliant, cool. Um, look, I'll say it 9 more times probably by the time we finish this. Thank you very much for taking part in this, and I know we've been chatting for a while, so I've only got a couple more questions left. Um, like I've said before in other ones, these are the ones that I've asked everybody, and it's been interesting to see everyone's point of view on these. With the first one being sort of, has there been a rule change in the past few seasons that you've sort of either loved or hated?
Yeah, I mean, I know that the area rule is going to be very topical at this point. Um, so I'll weigh in slightly on that, but then I'll say the other thing I think. Um, I quite like, there has been a shift now where uh, the advantage doesn't immediately go to the defender, but equally
Mm-hmm.
there's so much of a responsibility on the umpire to kind of see where the ball's at its peak, but also where the defender and attacker stand. And I just, it's
Yeah,
just impossible. I don't know how an umpire is going to be able to see the peak of the ball, but also where the ball's landing and what's going on in that area. So I think it's been a good shift to well, it's with good intentions to not make it overpowered or underpowered or whatever, but it's a bit
yeah,
tricky. But for me, the best rule change, and this probably shows my age a little bit, is like the self pass rule. I think there was a bit of concern when it came in that it's so different, and it might just create a sport where it's only athletes and people running fast the whole time. But I think there's such a massive skill element involved in hockey that you're now seeing both. You're seeing athletes who are extremely technical and skilled. So it's made it's made the game so fast, and I think that's something that as hockey we have to lean into because it's the thing that makes us different to any other sport out there. Just the speed of the game.
yeah, yeah. It's completely shifted the speed of the game. It's now, I always go back to football where they get a free and it's like a 3 day setup period before they can do anything else after that. Whereas a free is awarded, it's stopped or fairly close to being stopped dead, and we can play on. And I think even from sidelines and hitouts, it just creates far more possibilities, I think, for an attacking opportunity or a way to set up into an attacking opportunity.
No, completely. I find myself watching football, shouting at the screen, like play fast and find opportunities. That yeah, it's not really in the football culture, and maybe especially this season with the stoppages with long throw-ins and free kicks, and there's so much time wasted. Yeah, I think as hockey we need to lean into that because that's what makes it so special. But it's
Yeah,
also what makes it maybe quite difficult to follow for people that haven't spent a lot of time in the game, or it makes it quite difficult to follow on TV as well. So I think there needs to be some attention paid to leaning into the speed, but also
yeah,
finding ways of making it more accessible to everybody.
yeah, definitely. The next question is there a rule that you would like to bring in that could either benefit you as a player and your style of play, a team that you play on, or hockey in general?
Yeah, I've given this a little bit of thought, and actually, yeah, I spend a lot of time with a lot of hockey guys, so this naturally does kind of come up in conversation. But I think um, the as a player and as a spectator, I think the very best of hockey is kind of what we spoke about before, which is the speed, end to end, creative plays, give and goes skills, and I think teams being able to sit really deep on the pitch, and that's whether it's in a man-to-man or a zone structure. It's the same thing. It kind of kills the moments that we get excited about as players and spectators. So some sort of rule which would stop that happening so much, as in teams being able to sit really low on the pitch for the entire game and not
Mhm.
yeah not go out there and press. So it might look like some sort of time restriction on having a certain number of players below the halfway line or something like that,
Yeah, yeah.
which I think would improve the game in that it gives us what we want as players and spectators more than we have at the moment.
I think it's a great shout. There has been times, and it's normally those games that have ended like 1-0 that you've gone, oh, that doesn't feel like a hockey. Like you've watched it and gone, that didn't feel like a hockey match that we're used to. So yeah, no, I think that's a good shout in some way of trying to make sure that that doesn't happen and almost kill the momentum of the game. Yes, it's useful in some points of a match, but for the whole 60 minutes, it can be quite draining to watch.
No, exactly, and there is a beauty to it as well, but not for 60 minutes, in my opinion. Yeah.
No, totally agree. I think that's a good shout. So it is. And then the final question. This is the question that I've asked everybody, this season, last season, and it sort of dictates how I view you as a person after this. Before training or before a match, how do you put your socks and shoes on? Do you go sock, shoe, shoe, or do you go sock, shoe, shoe?
I can't believe that's even a question.
Yeah,
Obviously, all socks on first, and then shoes on
yeah,
next. I,
yeah.
I
That's
can't believe
fine.
anyone does it any other way.
Yeah, look, I'll not throw names out, but there's a certain
You have
player
to.
that
You
you
have
would
to throw
play
names
with.
out. You have to.
Yeah, well, it's Tim Nurse. Tim Nurse absolutely threw himself under the
No
bus when he
way.
went, "Oh yeah, I think that's what I do." But he very quickly backtracked after I started questioning him about it. He was like, "Oh, it's only sometimes. It's only every so often to do it." But yeah, it's a question that my girlfriend she gave to me, just going, why not ask this at the end? And I went, actually, it's been pretty good, and everyone's had a good laugh about it. But it is one of those ones that you'll now notice if someone does it. You'll probably never noticed before, but you'll definitely notice now if someone does it. So if you see anyone in any team doing it, you have full accessibility to just shout abuse at them, because that's not on.
100%. I mean, I'm going to be wherever Nursey's hiding in the changing room. I'm going to be keeping my eyes on him.
Yeah. As soon as that shoe goes on and he still has a bare foot out, that's it. Call him out. He has to be shown that's not on.
100%.
Yeah, no, look, but thank you very much again, Jack, and it's been really good. Is there before we go, is there anything that you want to plug or push people towards before we leave?
Two big ones, like obviously Balling helped to arrange this podcast with yourself, so just a little plug to them, and also of course Unlock Hockey, my coaching brand. But thank you very much, Sam, for letting me sharing your time with me and letting me come on the pod. It's been really good fun.
Oh, thank you. I'll link everything to Unlock Hockey and stuff like that in the description and stuff as well, so people can go and find it directly from here as well. I want to push people towards that. Look, thank you very much again, and thank you everyone that's watched. If you don't want to watch my face for an hour, which is completely understandable, you can listen to it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and let us know how you put your socks and shoes on. We can shout at you in the comments below. And thank you very much again, Jack.
Not at all, but there is only one right answer to that: socks and shoes, though.
There is. So we can shout at people in the comments all we want. That's great.
Perfect. Thanks very much.